Breaking now, CISA added CVE 2026-8452 to the Known Exploited Vulnerabilities Catalog today, August 26, 2026. The federal remediation deadline is August 29, so this is a 3-day clock for covered agencies and a clear priority signal for everyone else. The affected products are Citrix NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway, commonly placed in front of remote access, application delivery, VPN, ICA proxy, CVPN, RDP proxy, and authentication services. If this device is exposed and configured in the affected role, treat it as urgent. CVE 2026-8452 is described by NVD as a memory overflow vulnerability in NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway. The official wording says it can lead to unpredictable or erroneous behavior and denial of service when the appliance is configured as a gateway, including SSL VPN, ICA proxy, CVPN or RDP proxy, or as an AAA virtual server. The CVSS score is critical, 9.8. The vector matters: network attack path, low complexity, no privileges required, and no user interaction. The listed impact is high for confidentiality, integrity, and availability, but the NVD description specifically calls out denial of service and unstable behavior. CISA KEV membership is not a theoretical risk label. It means CISA has determined the vulnerability is known to be exploited. That is why this moves ahead of ordinary patch queues. The EPS probability listed here is 0.010 at the 0.62 percentile, which would normally suggest a lower predicted chance of exploitation. But KEV status overrides that kind of forecast because it is based on observed exploitation, not just prediction. Known ransomware use is listed as unknown, so do not claim ransomware involvement from the data we have. The action item is still immediate: reduce exposure and follow vendor instructions. The exposed population is not every random Citrix product. This notice names Citrix NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway. The NVD condition is important. The appliance is affected in the described way if it is configured as a gateway, such as SSL VPN, ICA proxy, CVPN, or RDP proxy, or if it is configured as an AAA virtual server. That means remote access and authentication paths deserve the first look. Internet-facing gateways should be at the top of the list. Internal-only appliances still need review, especially if they protect sensitive applications or sit on important identity and access flows. The practical danger is disruption and loss of control around a high-value edge device. NetScaler Gateway often sits between users and the services they need to reach. If the appliance enters an erroneous state or becomes unavailable, VPN access, application access, proxy services, or authentication flows can be interrupted. Because the CVSS vector is remote, unauthenticated, and low complexity, exposed devices carry the highest concern. Do not reduce this to a simple crash bug. An unstable gateway can create incident response pressure, break business access, and hide other noise in the logs while teams are trying to recover service. Start with inventory. Identify every NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway instance, including virtual appliances, cloud deployments, disaster recovery systems, and older standby units. Then, check configuration, not just product name. Look for gateway use: SSL VPN, ICA proxy, CVPN, RDP proxy, and AAA virtual servers. Confirm which appliances are internet-facing and which are reachable from partner networks or remote user segments. Then compare the appliance build, configuration, and available mitigations against the current Citrix vendor instructions. Do not rely on EPSS to delay action. CISA added this to KEV today, which means known exploitation is already part of the risk picture. For federal agencies, the date is simple: remediate by August 29, 2026. For everyone else, use that same deadline as the urgency anchor. CISA's required action is to apply mitigations in accordance with vendor instructions while aligning with BOD 26-04 guidance on prioritizing security updates based on risk and CISA's forensics triage requirements. If Citrix provides fixed builds, plan emergency maintenance. If Citrix specifies mitigations or configuration changes, implement them exactly and verify afterward. Prioritize internet-facing gateway and AAA deployments first. Record what changed, when it changed, who approved it, and what evidence was preserved before remediation. Detection should focus on appliance instability and access path anomalies. Watch for unexpected reboots, process failures, memory-related faults, high error rates, service restarts, and sudden denial of service patterns on Gateway or AAA services. Review VPN, ICA proxy, CVPN, RDP proxy, and authentication logs for unusual timing, repeated failures, and spikes that line up with performance drops. Monitor external availability from the user side, not only from inside the network. Preserve logs, configuration snapshots, timestamps, and relevant network metadata before making changes where possible. CISA specifically points agencies to forensics triage requirements, so evidence handling is part of the response. Bottom line, CVE 2026-8452 is now in CISA KEV as of today, August 26th, with a federal due date of August 29. It affects Citrix NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway when configured in the named gateway roles or as an AAA virtual server. The score is critical, the attack path is remote, and KEV status means known exploitation, even though ransomware use is unknown. Inventory fast, verify configuration, follow Citrix instructions, preserve evidence, and monitor for instability. For more fast, ranked vulnerability response, subscribe to the Daily Ranked Brief.